Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to ETS, part 2 of our 6,000 kilometer journey. We are currently in after the checkpoint. Actually, that's a good question. Where are we now? I think we are in Serbia now. Let's have a double check. We started off in Cyprus, crossed over to Greece, passed through Macedonia. We're now in Serbia. Yeah, indeed. And it's going to be a few episodes we're here, I think, and we'll be making our way to Croatia and Slovenia, if I remember correctly. We will see. Okay, let's have a look at the world map here. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be still a very, very long route, so might as well get started. If you haven't checked the previous episode where we started the journey, please do. But don't worry, there will be lots more. And yeah, I do recommend checking that episode out because I did share the context of why I'm doing this and what's happening in the coming days and weeks, so you guys are updated and don't get surprised about the different things happening versus the normal stuff. Okay, let's get going. So yeah, I'm recording this right after the previous one. Clumsy Trucker, toot for you. So I haven't read any of your comments yet, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. And yeah, let's dive straight into Q&A. So we still have a lot of questions from Jay. Thanks a lot, Jay. Starting off with this one. You use a lot of AA references. How and why? And for those who are not familiar with AA, that is Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't really know so Jay might be hinting at something there, why I refer to AA techniques a lot, or steps. They call it steps, I think. How many steps are there? 12 or something. So Alcoholics Anonymous is what is it? How do you call it? A group, maybe you could say, who helps out people who are addicted to alcohol, and I think not only alcohol, but suffer any form of addiction. And it's a very noble cause, and it's amazing that it's there. There's a lot of people are in need of that. I think at one point or another we are all addicted to something. You could say I am actually addicted to simulators. Right? That's going to be a compelling argument. And yeah, I guess you have at one point or another encountered being addicted to something, being obsessed over something to the point of like it taking over your life, something like that. Maybe not that extreme, but I'm sure you've felt the beginnings at least of that, if not the full-fledged addiction. So it's such an amazing cause that there is something that is out there to help people out, and there is no shame in it. So I don't want to ridicule people who are part of AA, who have gone to AA, because there's absolutely no shame in it. And if anything, I salute you guys. I'm proud of you for taking ownership of your behavior and admitting that there is something that needs to be fixed and doing something about it. That's, for me, more applaudable than being in denial and saying you don't need help. Yeah, so I don't want to laugh over this matter. And as a side note, before we continue with that topic, you might have noticed a lot of stutters happening a few kilometers back there, a few meters back there, and it's a bit strange actually. I'm not sure if that's because of the owned trailer syndrome, OTS, you can call it, the OTS, owned trailer syndrome. There is an ongoing theory that driving with your own trailer, taking cargo market jobs, causes a lot of stutter versus just doing the normal freight market jobs. I have not been able to prove it yet, but a lot of people are seeming to get in on that theory. they've tried for themselves, said in the SES forums that they're encountering the same thing. And we have just encountered a few of those stutters. But I'm still no way sure that that is caused by the own trailer and not something else in this map or with my mods or whatever. So it's a bit tricky to do that. Oh, wait a minute. Why did it ask me to go there through Texaco? I think that's a GPS problem. Anyway, alright, let's continue. Alright. So, yeah, personally I have not been part of AA. I'm not sure if AA is available globally. It's not very common in Asia, I think. I think it's more common in the US, in Europe maybe, but it's very common in the movies, right? It's in the movies where I encountered it. And also in the books I read, they refer to AA a lot because AA has, the steps are very wise. They're not only for addicts, they are actually very wise statements. Like, I don't know what are the other things. Making peace with yourself or making amends or, they even have this very amazing quote in the beginning, like something along the lines of, how do you say, like, doing what you can. I'm not going to get it word for word, not even close, but I hope the message will be close enough. Like doing your best and letting go of the things that you have no control over. So like doing your best for things you have control over, letting go of things you have no control over, and the wisdom to know the difference, which is which. It's just such a smart, such a wise statement, and it's not only applicable for going over your addiction, but everything in life. And I really applaud the guys who made those. That's why I refer to them so much. They are filled with wise nuggets that I think we should be applying, whether we are addicted or not, whether we are part of AA or not. I really like them. And this is also why with the books I read also refer to them a lot. So they're filled with very nice nuggets. The people who came up with these steps and these philosophies are very smart. And yeah, as I mentioned, anyone who is brave enough and strong enough to be part of AA, to realize when you need it and do something about it is really applaudable. Yeah. Something which I would like to touch on as well, it's not part of the question, but I do like to touch on this topic. Something that I have recently become aware of and something that I realized recently because and this is not really related, but this is more about mental illness. Like how I mentioned that there is no shame, and if you're addicted to something and you get help, you go to AA or get some other help, there is no shame in it, and actually it is something that is very brave and applaudable. So it's an amazing thing that you're doing. The same for me, I think, goes with mental illness. It is no light thing. It is nothing to be shamed of. It should not be ridiculed. It should not be taken lightly. It is just as intense, if not more so, than any physical illness out there, any serious physical illness. Physical illness is just more obvious because you see when a person is weak, but mental illness is more subtle, more sneaky, and in a way more dangerous because of that factor. And this just I became aware of this more so than before because I recently watched Joker. Has anyone watched that yet? It is an amazing film. You guys probably know Joker, right? It shows his alternate origin story. I don't think that's the official comic book story, but I do like it a lot more. And it's not about the story itself, it's about the message for me. It's about an electronic pass, nice. It's not about the story itself, but it's about the message and how the overall film, the overarching mood of the film. It is just really well done. You really feel the despair and really feel the hardships that he goes through. And it's very dark, but it's very deep as well. Oh, dang it. It's 90. Well, I guess it was not 90 a second ago. Fine. So, I won't spoil the movie, but I'm just going to say that it made me... Like, I knew all these before, but it's just such an eye-opening thing, you know, really having feelings, like being able to feel, being able to the filmmaker, the film itself gives you a very good idea. It really makes you feel, go through all those difficulties that he's going through, and he has a mental illness, so he finds it hard to, or harder to assimilate and be part of the normal society. Like, he's always depressed, and he finds it hard to go through and just belong, have relationships and whatnot. Yeah, so you can imagine the problems, but the film highlights that and makes you feel it so much, and I'm just able to relate it to real life, like how people with mental illness are battling it and how they're having these difficulties. And the most amazing quote, I think, and I think I can say this without spoiling everything, is there's a quote there, and I'm not going to get it exactly right, but I hope I get the message right at least. Something along the lines of the thing with mental illness is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. Let me repeat it. The thing with mental illness, or the problem with mental illness, is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. And how I understand that, maybe you can reflect on that and interpret that differently. But how I understand that is, it goes through, like, in society, our society accepts nowadays that there is such a thing as mental illness, but yeah, there is still that expectation that even if you're sick, if you're mentally ill, you are expected to behave in a normal way, and people will treat you badly if you don't, or if you can't. You know, you are still held up to the same standards as everyone else, which is very unfair, in my opinion. Because if you have this mental illness and you cannot perform normally as normal people would, but you are held up to the same standards and are, you're just, it's like it's just sad, you know, that kind of situation, that kind of challenge. And I can't help but feel guilty, you know, because I am a content creator. I get in touch with a lot of people through your comments, so thanks a lot for reaching out to me. And I must say, with all honesty, if I look at how I comment, sometimes you get a hint, depending on the comment of the person. You get a hint if they have, like, if they are how do you say, not the normal kind of guy or girl, right? Sometimes you get that hint, and sometimes I must be, if I'm totally honest with myself, I'm not totally open, like I'm not totally welcoming. Sometimes I do not have enough patience, and I'm guilty of that. Like, I know that something is up with the guy, but still sometimes I don't give him, like, I don't cut him some slack, or I don't treat him differently. I am offended when he says something like this, even if and I know that he's not the same as other people, you know. So I am guilty of that, of sometimes treating people without considering their current situation, so to speak. And that film just made me so much aware of it, and I'm hoping I can change with that. You know, I'm hoping that I can be more accommodating, more welcoming, because it's not their fault. It's not their fault. And of course, sometimes it's always a gray area, right? Some people will use that to their advantage. They will like do bad things and say, I had no control over it. But that's not always the case. Some people are evil like that, but some people just cannot help it. They do not think the same way as we do. And so applying the same standards seems unfair to me. So yeah, I would highly recommend you watch Joker. It's a very eye-opening experience. It's very dark though, be warned, it's very dark. It can be quite disturbing, but I think it's really eye-opening and everyone should watch it. And try to look at the deeper meaning. Don't just look at the story and the characters. Try to relate it to real life and how you reflect on it. And let me know what you think about it. But yeah, that was my number one takeaway. So it's like, wow. Like, I really got a glimpse of what I was doing wrong, or how could I do better. Wow, that is beautiful. We are in Serbia, right? Goodness. This place is amazing. I have to take a screenshot here later. That is amazing. Where are we anyway? Mostar. You guys familiar with this? I know we have a couple of folks here who are Serbian, who are from here. And during the last Silent Trucking video where we looked around here, you guys seem to really enjoy the video, and we're so happy that we were featuring Serbia. So here you go. Hope you enjoy this too. Let's have a look. Let's go and zoom out there. Actually, you know what? I can do that from here. Belgrade. Is that the capital? I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So many screenshots to choose from. But let's move away here. Give them some space. Goodness, this is just so amazing. And that beautiful sunset, right? I'll take a screenshot later. Don't worry, guys. The thumbnail will be majestic, I can assure you. Belgrade. Looks so good. Customs? No, I don't think that's us. Alright, but yeah, sorry to go off on a tangent like that, but I thought I'd bring it up as well. But I'm happy how things are progressing, because I remember a time when mental illness wasn't even considered as a true sickness. Like, it was not along the same... I mean, until now it's not fully there, but we are moving towards that direction at least. Like if people are depressed, they would just say sometimes, just don't overthink, or just be happy. But it's never as simple as that. It's never as simple as that. And I'm no expert, but I just know enough that it has to be much more than that. More care, more focus has to be given to our friends who are encountering these difficulties. And it's very hard to detect, because these people are having these troubles. They don't really just come out and say, oh, I have this problem. But yeah, sometimes they can be very sneaky. And sometimes they don't even realize it sometimes. And sometimes they do, but they don't want to speak up because they will be either, discriminated, or they will be looked down upon, as if they have some kind of like, I don't know, that there's something is wrong with them. Well, something is wrong with them, but they shouldn't be looked down upon, right? They should be taken care of. They should be given enough attention. But then yeah, I'm no expert, as I mentioned, so maybe there's an aspect there where these people, if you're encountering something like this, maybe you don't want any special treatment, you just want to be treated normally. Maybe that's also a factor. So yeah, it's going to be very tricky. Maybe that's why you're hiding it, I don't know. But yeah, I think and here I go with the AA reference again, because I think the first step is acknowledging that you have a problem. And I think that goes, as I mentioned, that goes with everything, not only with addiction, but any problem, mental illness, financial problems, behavioral problems, anything. If you have a problem, the first step to solving that problem is to acknowledge it. Really admit that there is something that needs to be fixed, that needs to be done. Let's go check through here. There you go. Alright. Man, this has been an amazing journey so far, and we're only in part 2. Loving it. Hopefully you guys are as well. Unfortunately, we'll have to start to cool down, so to speak, because it's going to be a bit tricky in a moment. We'll have to start looking at rest areas, so keep your eyes peeled. And but don't worry, we'll continue in the next episode, okay? But yeah, I think I will stop with the Q&A there, so we keep it on the right mood. Yeah, I wanted to share that and highlight that for everybody. So please don't be ashamed. Please don't be afraid. And if people treat you badly, that's on them. That's never on you. Phew, thank goodness I didn't get a ticket there. There we go. Right, I think we can rest here. Yeah, let's save it here. It's going to be shorter than normal, but I think that goes well with the theme. Yeah, the AA theme, so to speak. I think we can stop here. Alright. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you can give out your comments. What do you think? Agree, disagree? Am I oversimplifying it? Feel free to let me know. Just keep it civil and constructive, okay? No immature comments, but I'm looking forward to your comments and discussing it over with you, because I'm not an expert, so I would want to hear what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share with your friends and all that stuff. Clumsy Trucking, guys. Catch you in the next episode, okay? Bye-bye. Clumsy Trucking.